It's Wednesday, August 15. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Education, Youth and Information Minister Senator Ruel Reid has reaffirmed what he calls the government's unwavering commitment to press freedom and the expression of free speech.
The regulated media have therefore functioned with unfettered editorial freedom, subject only to oversight by a political independent regulator. In this environment, talk shows, news and current affairs flourish without fear of any impartial, biased, or political fetter. This demonstrates, ladies and gentlemen, that though we are young democracies, we can lead mightily from our small corners, and we must.
Additionally, he said when the media is unfettered, governments and other institutions are held to account to the people they serve.
It is then that there is a platform for the otherwise voiceless. It is then that justice can prevail and truth light shines for all to see. And it is then that information feeds knowledge, innovation, and development. It is, of course, important that these rights and freedoms are exercised responsibly, and that attention is paid to maintaining high standards with respect to accuracy and fair play to preserve the credibility upon which the profession depends.
The minister was speaking at the Caribbean Broadcasting Union CBU's 49th Annual General Assembly held at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston on Tuesday. The National Civil Registry System of the Registrar General's Department, RGD, is to be upgraded and strengthened in preparation for the implementation of the National Identification System, NIDS. PBCJ understands that the RGD is being revamped as the National Identification and Registration Authority to carry out the management of the NIDS, in addition to civil registration. Charlton McFarlane, project coordinator for the RGD transformation, says among key activities to be undertaken in preparation will be the digitization of RGD records. Addressing a recent Jamaica Information Service think tank session, Mr. McFarlane said funds have been allocated for the procurement of new civil registration system. Mr. McFarlane said the RGD is partnering with the NIDS project to identify Jamaicans who are not registered. This will be done through island-wide engagement activities. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the KSAMC, has passed a resolution calling for the government to expedite the tabling and passage of public cleansing regulations, which will, among other things, increase fines and penalties for public urination. Donovan Samuels, councillor for the Tivoli Gardens Division, who moved the resolution at the corporation's monthly meeting, argued that the pernicious practice has become more pervasive in recent times. Samuels indicated that the practice runs contrary to the corporation's mandate to restore civil pride among residents. He pointed that it is an offence under Sections 46 and 53 of the National Solid Waste Management Act to urinate in public spaces. He argued that the current $2,000 fine is an insufficient deterrent. That's why he wants fines increased with a doubling of penalties and custodial sentences for offences that occur within 100 feet of a national heritage site. The Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPA, says the risk of contracting the Zika virus, ZIKV, in the region is now low. But it says there is still a need to be vigilant given the ongoing risk of dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. CARPA conducted a 30-month review of the situation and found that the number of cases of the virus, which was first detected in the Caribbean in the late 2015, increased in the first half of 2016. It reached its peak circulation in August 2016 and then declined rapidly by December that year. CARPA said ongoing surveillance and laboratory testing in the region indicate that the epidemic circulation of ZIKV has been interrupted in Caribbean territories. In regional news, the Antigua and Barbuda government has announced the rollout of a non-stop education campaign ahead of a referendum on whether the country should make the Caribbean Court of Justice its final court. The referendum is set for November, and a two-thirds majority is needed to make the move. We have more in this report.
November 1, 2018 will make 37 years since Antigua and Barbuda gained political independence from the United Kingdom. Nonetheless, the UK-based Judicial Committee of the Privy Council remains the country's final court of appeal. Attorney General the Honourable Stedford Benjamin says the Caribbean Court of Justice is the solution to remove what some have described as one of the last vestiges of colonialism.
How can we be independent if the three pillars of independence are not there? We control the executive, we control the legislature, but we do not control the judiciary. That's not correct. In India, in Pakistan, in Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, Africa, the moment they became independent countries, they immediately had their own courts of appeal.
The Attorney General emphasizes the matter is not political.
Government thing, as opposed to option thing. It is an Antiguan and Barbudan thing. It is apolitical, no parties involved in the matter. It's what is good for us as Antiguans and Barbudans. And I'm asking, I know we met this morning with the committee. The committee is broad-based all across the board. We had the Observer, we had ZDK, we had ABS, and we have Point FM radio stations. That is the approach we're taking. We are going on a campaign to make certain that Antiguans and Barbudans are educated about the CCJ.
He says Grenadians will also be voting on the issue.
We are working with Grenada in this matter. Grenada will have their referendum also on the 6th of November, like Antigua and Barbuda. We are collaborating our efforts. So they'll come to Antigua and help with the campaign. We'll go to Grenada and help with their campaign.
In Venezuela has arrested a general as part of continuing probe into the alleged attempt to assassinate President Nicolas Maduro. The Attorney General Tarek Williams Saab says Major General Alejandro Perez Gomez of the country's National Guard appeared before a judge on Monday, along with opposition politician Juan Requesens and another military officer, Colonel Pedro Javier Zambrano. To date, 14 people have been arrested and charged for allegedly taking part in the August 4 incident. In sports, Jamaica under-15 reggae girls coach Andrew Price says that with Jamaica's poor infrastructure and system of development, it was always going to be difficult for his players at the CONCACAF Under-15 Girls Championship in Bradenton, Florida. The young reggae girls won no group matches, losing the opening game 8-0 to USA, then going down narrowly 3-2 to El Salvador, before losing 4-1 to guests Portugal and 1-0 to Puerto Rico. But Price, who was appointed coach just a week ahead of the team's departure, said their short-term and long-term preparation for the tournament was nothing compared to their opponents, and that was always going to pose a major challenge. The Jamaicans were placed in a tough Division 1 with USA, Portugal, and El Salvador, all seasoned teams at the age group level. And that's the news. Thanks for watching PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.